Answer the phone at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Offer the reserved hello on a nebulous night filled with palace snow in Harlem. Respond with okay. Listen. Be attentive when you learn he died in a hail of gunfire at the intersection of Minnesota Avenue and East Capitol Street in the nation's capital. After thinking that's fucked up, thank your old college roommate for calling. Ignore that he greeted you as Hook, the nickname you went by in the streets. Hang up. You can and can't believe the truth simultaneously. Write DISCO in your leather journal. Maybe this will immortalize the image. You will never forget him, but you have already forgotten Hook. Before the blackbird's echo bangs against your windowsill, wake up, go directly to the mahogany desk between two mirrors, sit in the brown swivel chair, stare at the building opposite your building, rearrange papers that don't need rearranging twice. Open your journal to the name written last night, Disco. Remember the cell doors closing after being closed for 18 months in Fairfax Adult Detention Center. 5 hours after that release, meet Disco wheeling an ATM through your basement on a handcart. Out of the wall with metal chain and pickup truck, he pulled the money machine. He did that. This is your introduction. Turn on the computer. Type Theodore Blanford in the search box. Click the magnifying glass. Expect to be surprised even though you know what the results will bring. Don't be surprised when you scroll to Maryland double homicide suspect shot and killed in D.C. One lone bird outside your window flies backward at an indeterminate rate of speed while the world moves forward. The bird is red. Look for balance in the oddity. Note, double homicide is 5 syllables. 5 deliberate pauses before damn. Remember you knew the suspect shoot a killer. Suspend court in your imaginations. Add 4 indeterminate words to formulate the phrase, hold court in the streets. This is how he will die. Holding court in the streets. Prophetic. After reading the now deceased wife wanted a divorce, deduce it was because of drugs. Visualize the wife and sister just before death in their double wide. Try to make sense of blood spilled on the carpet. The red is deafening. Scream. Wait for the buzz to stop because someone rung the wrong buzzer. There's always an echo after the buzzing. Even after it buzzes again, don't answer. It is not for you. Keep reading the online article, but more specifically the phrases forcible entry and protective order. Acknowledge your friend was a suspect in his first wife's murder too. A dead body in the trunk. 2 days later, while driving to school to teach, call Greg because it takes that long to find someone to talk about tragedy. Tell Greg, who is a barber and has 10 years behind the razor wire tucked in his memory, what happened. Agree in unison, prison will turn the brain into a hum. Agree again, prison taught you to be a better criminal, though you both digress. Both of you understand the term anomaly, but admit Disco is a composite of many men who never learned to be a man. You would then ask the question for the first time, why? Return back home from New Haven, Connecticut before rush hour traffic begins to bottleneck the Cross-County Parkway. Dig through the closet for the first version of your hope-to-be-published memoir. Disco rolled the safe out of the department store. The first lines of the paragraph read, go to the next page where he loves to pull the trigger of a gun more than he loved touching the torso of a woman. Flip to the page where he and his sister distributed lead bullets through the windshield, and the impressions of circular holes when the discarded lead pierced the glass were swift and pronounced. The body is a question mark. He tried to run over the wife with his truck and then threatened her with a claw hammer. She told the police. Ask yourself why this sign didn't signify violence. What theory would Ferdinand de Saussure classify this as? Put the manuscript back in the closet. Don't beat yourself up because you knew he was a killer and said nothing to nobody. Forget about the double negative your mom would correct you on and tell yourself it's nature versus nurture. Justify your silence in that the world you once lived in was filled with silence and mayhem. That is why they called you Hook. Don't block Audre Lorde's "Your silence will not protect you" from your mind. Pretend this is penance. Wake up the next morning. Go back to the computer. Press any key to erase the black screen. Ignore the blackbirds outside your window while telling yourself this is the last time. You need to forget, but before you do, one more search. Click inmate violent deaths in the news. A flutter of blackbirds appear suspended in animation at the top of the right corner of the web page. Ignore them, but then don't. Tell yourself this is not karma, Edgar Allan Poe style. He didn't want her to leave. She wanted him to go. Said he needed treatment. Think back to 12-step literature, which cautions of the 13th step, meaning sexual fraternization with people inside the circle. Feel confident in assuming she was a recovering addict and understood addictive behavior. Two addicts don't make a right. Tell yourself this. Review the interaction with police, which failed to notice the inevitable. Admit the judicial system is failing to protect women. "I am victim" was tattooed on her forehead, yet she remained invisible to the patriarchs, the ones sworn to protect and serve. Ask yourself, does his death matter more than the victim's death? Convince yourself the race never stops running, that memory will eat you alive. Say, "I am a changed man," but no one will hear you. Get back into bed. Pull the covers over your face. Remember the dream. Forget Hook. Wake up tomorrow and feel guilty all over again.